Hi guys, Iron Cameraman here. As you know, a few spoilers have been released recently, which at first glance are unremarkable except for the fact that one of the hybrids has no eyes. This is an important detail that explains why there's no way he could have hit the agents in episode 72. But there are other details that could give us more information about episode 77 of part 1 and possibly the entire series. We also need to bring up the Skibidi Toilet's virus and how people will fight it. Most importantly, how the speakers will be able to heal all the infected people with their song. Believe me, it's a very interesting theory, and the most important thing in this whole story is Secret Agent, who planned everything again and foresaw this kind of outcome. If you don't know what I mean yet, I suggest you watch the whole thing from start to finish. We'll not only break down all the theories and spoilers, but we'll also find out when episode 77 might be released and which episodes will be the most interesting. I'll also give you a couple facts and details I found. Well, let's not drag on. Take tea and cookies, sit down and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all the events. Anyway, here we go. First of all, it's worth talking about leaks. Although it's been a long time and every YouTuber has already told about it, I couldn't avoid them, as some details from these leaks will be useful for us for further theories. In the first spoiler, we see the same Skibidi Toilet of the Special Forces that appeared in episodes 72 and 74. But he's not alone. Next to him, we can see the pumped-up arm of another hybrid who appeared in episodes 73 and 74. It seems that we won't see G-Man in the first part of episode 77, but rather his squad on some sort of mission, as in episode 74, G-Man said something to them and assigned them a mission. It will be interesting to see what kind of mission he assigned them. By the way, many people were surprised and wondered why the hybrid from the spoiler doesn't have eyes. In fact, they are there. Perhaps it's an animation bug or not yet edited scene, but if you look closely, you can see the outline of the eyes, so don't worry, he has them. On the next spoiler, we see the camera strider and the scientist, who have apparently become friends. In the spoiler, you can see all the parts of Camera Strider more clearly, the guns, mechanisms, and so on. What's interesting is that the scientist is in a similar location as the hybrids from the previous spoiler. It's likely that there was a conversation between the two, or they just happened to meet. I'm leaning more towards the first option. Either way, it will be interesting to see how they will establish communication between them. Especially when you remember that the scientist and the hybrid from episode 72 have a very strained relationship. Perhaps one of them will have Vietnam flashbacks, but it's unlikely. The next spoiler shows us the new Astro Toilet. You can see that it has the same device on the back as the smaller Astros from episode 76, as well as the same guns and armor. But there is one difference. It has something like arms and a coil like the regular Astro Toilets. Mind you, the Astros from episode 76 had no such thing. You can also notice an improved collar around his neck, which is probably more dangerous than the others. Behind it is also the hybrid from the first spoiler. You can tell by the pose that it is going to attack him. Hopefully this time the hybrid will be hitting enemies with his missiles and not like it did in episode 72. By the way, seeing this Astro Toilet reminded me of one toilet from episode 68, which was a reference to the movie Breaking Bad. Perhaps this toilet is the same Astro Toilet from the spoiler. Write your guesses in the comments. The beard makes him remind me of Gordon Freeman, so perhaps some popular internet character is hiding under the mask. As we can see, all spoilers are made in one location, from which we can conclude that everything will take place somewhere in the suburbs. By the way, if we compare the atmosphere from the spoilers and the banner that Dafouk recently put up, we can see that the locations are very similar. Hence, those characters featured on the banner will be appearing very soon. If you're wondering who I'm talking about, check out this video where I've explained everything in more detail. Before I get to my theories, I want to touch on one more interesting detail. Recently, one of my subscribers remarked that after 4 videos, there will be 300 videos on the Dafouk's channel. If you do the math, the 300th video would be the full version of episode 77. I think Dafouk won't miss such a nice number, and something will happen in episode 77 that we'll be discussing for a whole week, or there will be details in the full version that will help us in the future. It's just speculation for now, but I wonder if Dafouk will take advantage of such a beautiful number. I even think he purposely split the episode into 3 parts to make it all come together. After all, he doesn't really do shorts on the channel that often anymore. His last shorts were about episode 74, so it's probably not a fluke. Dafuk Boom loves playing with numbers. Okay, now let's talk about a theory that just recently occurred to me. As we know, there are races in the series that can hypnotize their enemies. The TV men use their TVs to do this, and the Skibidi Toilets and Astro Toilets use their song to infect and enslave the creatures, turning them into toilets. It's essentially a hypnovirus, transmitted through song and capable of spreading over any distance. The most dangerous part is that their song infects permanently, but it's not clear how it works. Perhaps there are virus particles in the sound the Skibidi Toilets make. It's not clear how recorded sound can also affect a person's mind, which we saw in episode 74. Perhaps this song acts in the same way as the song of the sirens who hypnotize sailors with their voice. Who didn't know, sirens are mermaids that lure sailors to them and kill them. But we know that speakers can use music of absolutely any kind. Keeping in mind that Skibidi song infects, we can assume that the speaker's music will heal and destroy the Skibidi Toilet's virus in people, turning toilets back into people. So, as we've realized, speakers can probably heal people with their music. But where do I get that from? As I've said many times before, Secret Agent had this all planned out a long time ago. That is, everything that happens on the show is beneficial and necessary to him. Every action of every character has been scripted for a long time. He knew everything there was to know. His plan, as you may recall, is to destroy the Astro Toilets, and those who could do that were agents and Skibidi Toilets. It's unlikely that Dafuk, when the planet was being infected, didn't think of a vaccine that could cure any toilet. It's more likely he found a way, which the Speakermen are. But they've used the song before. Why didn't it work? Chances are that song had nothing to do with Secret Agent's vaccine. He may not have even given the speakers the ability in question now. There's a possibility that it's not ready yet, and will only be able to cure those who have not fully transformed, i.e. hybrids. That's why Dafuk has blocked Speakerman from getting this ability for now. By the way, after discussing this theory, my team and I made a concept of what a Titan speaker could look like with these improvements. As you can see, the laser cannons have become more powerful. On the belt are 2 knives for close combat. Well, the main weapons are the speakers. They have become more massive, and there are more of them to better affect the armies of Skibidi Toilets. Now, you're probably wondering when episode 77 will be released. Recently, a popular YouTuber asked Dafuk when we should expect the episode, to which he got an answer that it will probably be next week in the middle or at the end, which is already this week. We also learned that Dafuk unfortunately had a stress that made him unable to do the episode, but the most important thing is that everything is more or less fine now. Hopefully things will get better for Dafuk Boom and he'll be back to delighting us with new episodes. But it's also interesting that this YouTuber asked Dafuk about the episodes that should be the best, to which he first got the answer that all of them. But then he also asked which episodes he was most excited about, and Dafuk said 80 and 83 episodes. And season 27. Well, now we know in which episodes we should expect something mega interesting. Also, for the first time the season is mentioned, namely season 27. As we know, the 25th season is on right now, so the 27th season is pretty soon. Well, let's wait to see what Dafuk has in store for us in season 27. If I'm not mistaken, it includes 81, 82, and 83 episodes. And 83rd episode is among the best episodes, so something very global and important for the plot will happen there. That's all for now. It was Iron Cameraman. Good luck and goodbye, everybody.